Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. A couple of months ago, I posted a video called The Dogman vs. U.S. Military. And a lot of you guys liked it. Well, I've been doing some research, and it seems like the U.S. military has got a lot of involvement in cryptid hunting. So today I've got a couple of encounters with the U.S. military and cryptids. Actually, Dogman and Sasquatch. Before I get into this upload, though, a couple links I'd like to share. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, PayPal, and merch to help this channel to continue to grow and go. Those links are in the description below. I also have a second channel for creepypasta, fanfiction, and scary voice acting. Stories that don't fit on this channel. Now, if that's anything that you're into, follow that link and give those stories a listen. You may just like what you hear. I also started a GoFundMe page to help raise some money for equipment for urban exploration, cryptid hunting, and ghost hunting videos I will be doing in late spring, early summer. So far, I've gotten an EVP recorder, a SLS cam, and some trail cams. That link is in the description as well. Now I've taken enough of your time. Let's get on with military involvement with cryptids. Shall we? The Dogman in warfare. There has been numerous sightings of a werewolf-type beast reported in the heart of Conic Chase, a large area of forest and heath in the English county of Staffordshire. But of note, all the encounters on the chase occurred within the confines of an old cemetery, and specifically a cemetery housing the remains of German soldiers and airmen who died in the prisoners of war camps in British soil during the First and Second World Wars. And of course, the soldier on a British military base states that he encountered a werewolf at the storage area in Alconbury, situated in the county of Cambridgeshire, in the 70s. The beast had a flat snout, large big ears. The height was around 5 foot and weighed in at about 200 pounds. It slowly vanished into the surrounding woods. Moving on to January 2010 at a New York conference called the Ghosts of Cooperstown. It was on a Saturday night of the event, and an American soldier who had then reportedly returned from military action in the Middle East revealed to an audience in a hotel bar that he heard tales of a large marauding werewolf dogman roaming by night in the mountains of Afghanistan and some of the more ancient parts of Iraq. The U.S. Army secretly knew the beasts were out there, he states, but didn't know how to handle the situation. They even lacked any real understanding of what the creatures were or where they were from exactly. And so the military simply chose to take the easiest of all approaches available to them. They outright ignored the reports or wrote them off as the equivalent to campfire tales told to kids on Halloween. Asked if there was any way he could get data validating his report, his reply was, "That's a negative," but stressed it was true all the same. His story might well have been the barest bones of what sounds like a much bigger and far more significant saga. To be the case in the UK, Iraq, and Afghanistan, the beasts seem to be attracted to locations known for being home for highly active military installations. On U.S. soil, the Fort Custer Recreational Area in Michigan, which amounts to around 3,000 acres of recreational land that fell into the hands of the U.S. government back in 1917, and which, when known as Camp Custer, was utilized as a training center for Army inductees. Late one particular night in the 2000s, However, the area had what was quite possibly the strangest visitor of all. A large dog-like animal that had the ability to run on both 2 legs and 4. But there's more to just the werewolf-infested cemetery on England's Conic Chase that is home of the remains of 100 German military personnel from long-gone wars. So the old Michigan-based camp once housed more than 500 Nazi troops during the hostilities of the Second World War. 26 of them died on site and were subsequently buried there. Bigfoot? Hunted by the U.S. military on U.S. soil? In the early 90s, I was with teams in the Navy. We were sanctioned by an alphabet government agency to put a stop to several aggressive Sasquatch in the high country of western North Carolina. We all thought it was a joke at the mission briefing, but it was no joke. My partner in our team of 12 was my swim buddy. He was Native American. This man wasn't scared of anything. Before we were ordered to go out during the briefing, all of these agents were showing us slides of what these creatures did to people, adults and children alike, as well as the damage done to vehicles and homes. Anyway, my buddy turned white with sheer fear. He told me this is bad, real bad. When we arrived in the little mountain village town, the sheriff met us. He told us that he had never been so happy to see the cavalry since he had been in Korea. He showed us the actual places where, as he put it, this is where those effers, those big hairy demons, destroyed this or killed him, her, or them there. My buddy was taking everything in like I had never saw him do before. After talking with the sheriff, our lieutenant told us to fire up because we were going hunting. As we were getting our gear ready, my buddy said to me, "You know, I always thought my grandfather was just telling me scary stories about he and his brothers when they fought the wild men." We started in around 1400. By 1600, we found lots and lots of tracks. We started tracking them. We made out at least 7 different individuals. We made first contact about 1900, and it was almost dark. The point man stopped dead in his tracks and spoke into his headset. "I see one of those things, and it's huge," the lieutenant said. "If you have the shot, take it." He shot this massive hairy beast with a 7.62mm round, and it acted like a mosquito bit him. This creature turned around and let out a god-awful roar. Our point man quickly switched to full ammo. This time the creature dropped like a rock after 10 7.62mm rounds cut up his chest. After first contact, the agents radioed in and said they wanted one alive. Our lieutenant told them to go screw themselves. It took 3 days and nights with almost no sleep, but we dropped 7 hairy bastards. We found the missing people, or rather what was left of them. We had 1 casualty when a team member was snatched straight up into a tree. There was nothing anyone could have done for him. To this day, thinking of those 3 days sends chills down my spine. You won't find those 3 days in any military record or mission log. Going into our mission debriefing, normally we were asked 1,001 questions about every shot fired, every angle we fired from, every angle we fired on. We were simply told that the past 3 days we were doing rigorous mountain training, and during the training period we lost a man. And with that, the debriefing team stood up and walked out. Now, normally we have individual debriefing for the whole team, but this was the one and only time it was just team. So to answer your next question, after 3 days, government agents came in and removed all 7 corpses and flew them out. This one's a little simpler and different than most. Usually I have encounters for you guys and dates and yada yada yada. But the military knowing things about cryptids and keeping it away from the U.S. civilians is maddening. It's crazy. I mean, if there's at one point 7 Sasquatch tearing apart children, families, vacationing and camping, and then they just go and zoom in and cover it all up. It's crazy. And then the Dogman. What is the connection? Thinking back, the cemetery in England and the cemetery in Michigan, where these Nazi or German troops were buried. What's the connection there? I mean, everyone knows that the Germans used to do some crazy experimentations during World War II, possibly during World War I. But did they summon something? I mean, there is some speculation that the Nazis had done some demonic summoning and this and that, but did they? These are all just questions for our brains to think about. I don't know if we'll ever get the answers. Who knows? We probably won't. But these are just some things for you guys to think about. I'm sorry for the very unusual upload, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will be back tomorrow or the next day with just straight up encounters for you guys. With that, I bid you farewell.